All right, I bought an illegal driver on Amazon. Let's hit this thing. All right, so why did I buy it? Because obviously I'm not gonna put it into play, but I was curious. I was curious, first of all, how would this perform? But more so, and this is something that you guys can help me with in the comments, is who would buy something like this and why? Let's dig into it. That's right, so this is the Big Buddha. Now, I didn't say that wrong. It's not the Big Bertha, it's the Big Buddha. And one thing I will say is that on the listing, they are definitely not trying to deceive anyone. It says very plainly and very clearly that this is non-conforming to the USGA regulations. So as I peel off the plastic of this thing, let's talk about what makes it illegal and what do we even really mean when we say illegal? If you take this thing out on the course, are the cops gonna show up at your door?
Right to jail, right away.
Obviously not. What it means is that this head is above the regulated size. The biggest a driver head can be, the biggest it's allowable, is 460 cc. That's 460 cubic centimeters. Well, this stamped right on it is a massive 520 cc. This head is significantly bigger than a head that would be conforming to USGA regulations. The other thing that intrigues me about the Big Buddha, super jumbo, is the fact that it only cost me 50 bucks on Amazon. So as you can imagine, my expectations for this are not set super high. Let's hit it and then we'll dive in a little bit more. That thing is big. Just a couple of air swings and it feels like I'm moving a lot of air. It almost feels like it couldn't be very fast this size. All right, club speed 99.8, so let's just call that 100. Ball speed 141, total 226. So I'm gonna hit my other driver here in a second, but right off the bat, those numbers are not jumping out at me to the point where it's worth it for have a non-conforming illegal driver. Let's hit another one. All right, getting warmed up, picking it up a little bit. Left it out right. Part of that could be the shaft. Like I said, it's very whippy. It's not what I'm used to, but we got 101 club speed, 147 ball speed, 237 total. So the numbers are picking up. I could just be warming up. But again, going back to that question of using this, and that's where I want you guys to help me out with this. And I want to kind of get a vibe on the community and what you would think about something like this. So definitely post it in the comments. But my thinking is, sure, you may not be competing in any USGA or RNA sanctioned events. You're not worried about a disqualification, but I really do wonder, let's say you put this in the bag and you go out and you shoot your low round. Is it something that you can feel confident talking about and boasting that you've shot your best round, full well knowing that you've used an illegal driver? There's a certain part of that just feels a little bit, I don't know, icky to me. I would just say when it comes to crossing that line of trying to pull it off as something it's not, then you're entering some muddy water. Now I'm gonna hit one more here and then we're gonna hit my driver and we're just gonna maybe talk about what I think are some of the differences there. Okay, again, really not backing off at all here. I'm swinging this as hard as I can. 146 ball speed, 100 mile an hour club speed. Like I said before, I'm always right around 100. Sometimes I can kick it into another gear, maybe get 2-3 more miles an hour club head speed, but that's right around my range. 146 ball speed, 242 total. Let's break out my regular driver and hit that to see how it compares. Okay, so here is my regular driver, and the big difference, obviously, immediately as I put it in my hands, it immediately feels smaller. It almost feels like I'm holding a 3-wood compared to my driver. When you pull the 3-wood and it's a noticeably smaller head. Remember, everything having to do with this driver has to conform to the USGA and RNA's rules. It does feel, one thing I'll say right away, it feels faster through the air, and that could be because it's smaller. That one kind of Feels a little bit like you're swinging a sail. So let's hit one here. Now, that one went left, probably because I'm used to that shaft and making the change to this shaft. But first swing, 254 yards total, 103 club speed, and the ball speed 152.9. So everything went up. If anything, what it felt a little bit like was when you, in baseball, and you swing a weighted bat or a bigger bat and then get up and swing something smaller. It felt smaller. It felt faster through the air, but that's just one shot. Let's hit another one. And then after we hit this one, I want to potentially dive into at least what my theory is of why a conforming club would outperform a club that's unregulated, illegal, is not having to regulate or conform itself to any size or other limitations. Why would that not be the obvious distance winner? Let's hit this and we'll talk about that. Okay, what did I say before? My max club hit speed is usually 105. I'm getting 106 right now. I only can attribute that to the fact of, like I said, it's like swinging a bigger bat and then a smaller bat. Maybe that's an outlier. I don't want to make it too heavily in favor of this club. So let's hit another one and see here. That one I hit out off the toe. Didn't transfer as much energy. Still 103 club speed, 147 ball speed. So that miss hit is still better ball speed than I got with the illegal club. But let's keep this as fair as possible. I know what some people are gonna say. They're gonna say, look, you're warming up and you're hitting it further. So only one way to kind of test that theory out is let's go back and hit this again. It does give me a stiff flex. It says it's a stiff flex, but I don't see any weighting, grams, any numbers like that on there. But again, when I go back to it, it feels slower through the air. It feels a lot more wind resistance for the size. But what it does feel is at least visibly more forgiving with that huge face. All right, I gave that everything I could give it. It's still good club speed, 101. Ball speed dropped, 148. So now that was probably my best contact with this club yet. I felt center face. Smash came up a little, 146, but what's interesting to me is the ball speed on that center face good strike, fully warmed up, was actually about the same, maybe a half a mile an hour faster than my miss hit with my regular Titleist driver. But why? Why did this illegal, non-conforming driver, bigger head, not outperform my driver? Let's talk about it. Before we talk about it, should I hit one more with the regular driver? Let's do it. So there you go. Back to this driver real quick. How to do it one more time. Again, we're going one swing for one swing. So we're fully warmed up. We're not changing in that way. 155 ball speed, 102 club speed, 260 total. Can't argue with that. So why? Why would an illegal driver not dramatically outperform, or in this case, even keep up with a conforming driver? I remember the days as a kid, remember that crazy Nerf football with the tail on the end, and you could throw it 30 further yards than a football?
This is the Vortex.
Well, to me, that would be a motivation to go and buy something like this, have a little bit of fun with it, maybe show off to your friends at the driving range. But it didn't outperform the other club. And why is that? I would imagine that two things. One, the materials and the R&D, the research and development, the technology, ultimately, that went into a club like this has to be minimal, if any. To be able to sell this for $50 and make any form of profit, it couldn't have cost them more than $20, $30 to make this club. The truth is that it's just not good business to sell illegal clubs. So why put the time, the money, or the effort into making them? To me, it seems like it's a long shot. Somebody slaps this together, high hopes with good marketing of calling it the Big Buddha Super Jumbo. And actually, it actually benefits them to advertise this as illegal because it did what it did for me. It sparks curiosity. You go and buy it, and there might be some people who are out there hitting this thing and not doing as a direct comparison, have no idea what they possibly are leaving on the table with a really good, high quality driver. But anyway, I told you before, I wanted to hear what you guys think, so let us know below. Would you play an illegal, non-conforming club? And if so, what would be your reasoning behind it? I'm truly curious to find out. We'll leave it in the comments for you guys to let us know, and we'll continue testing clubs, so make sure you subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.